Unless you're living in a cave, you already know that the 8.3 update for World of Tanks Blitz is dropping tomorrow. And with it comes several questions I asked myself and I've been asking for at least 2 years now, aka the subject we're going to talk about today. We could divide Blitz update into different parts. The first is the low-cost update, for example, the 8.3 one, where they just add some aesthetic, change one or two things, and nerf or buff some tanks, and boom, that's it, the update is done. And on the other side, we have the big updates that are either bringing a new tech tree tank or new changes, game mechanisms, such as the ATGMs in the past, or several new game modes. But truly, deep down, I wish that Wargaming could just implement updates that are completely focused on the matchmaking and the game itself, not necessarily on the aesthetic, but much rather how we are playing it. What I mean by that is maybe adding new modes, campaigns, or even reworking quite a lot of features in the game to make it enjoyable again when you are an experienced player. But let me explain to you what I mean by that. The main problem I want to highlight in this video is the direction problem or the pattern problem. You can call it whatever you want. And if I had to give a definition to this problem, it would be that Blitz is, or all the games you are playing are necessarily going to make you repeat the exact same moves for every single game in every single battle, which will result in you being bored of the game simply because you have no new mechanism to discover. What I mean by that is that when you see multiple type of maps, you will see that if you find a good position, you are going to stick to it and you're going to play it whatever you want and whenever you can, again and again and again. And it's a true phenomenon simply because you can see that in World of Tank, in World of Warship, in World of Tank Blitz. You can see it on pretty much every type of games that look like this, because basically there are and there will always be stronger positions than others, and you are necessarily entitled to give or to get those positions in order for you to have a good game. Now, of course, as a new player, and this is why we're taking a look at a game on the brand new map, which is called, I forgot the name of the map, Ghost Factory. So we're taking a look at the new Ghost Factory map because at the moment, as that map is pretty recent, it's quite hard for us guys to know what is the strongest side, what are the best positions. I know Wargaming did already a video on the subject explaining what position to take regarding the different characteristics of your tank, but really you have to try it by yourself in order for you to find the perfect position. And on this one, it's actually really interesting to play on it, and I'm always more excited to play in battle on Ghost Factory rather than any other map, simply because it's a new one, and I'm excited. I don't know where to go, so I don't know what's gonna wait for me, so there is kind of a surprise when I'm playing. Whereas when we take a look at the old maps, we're doing the exact same thing at the exact same moment with the exact same compo, with the exact same tank, with the exact same type of tank, of clan, etc., which results in getting bored of the game and makes you want to play something else. And even if it's something totally logical, let's say that we are both the players and Wargaming responsible for that boredom. And this is the subject of that video. Here I explained to you what was the problem. Now let's take a look at how we as players have the possibility to actually get through it, right? Concerning the player's responsibility toward that, simply play less. Yeah, I know it's easy saying it like that, but the less you play, the less experienced you are, and the less you're entitled to go either on this or that position. But of course it comes to a price, the price being that you are going to be a noob, people will insult you, so in the end it's definitely not a good solution. But you could also try something else. You could also try to play your tanks differently. Don't do anything brain dead. I mean, if you're a Grill 15, yes, with a Grill 15, you're supposed to camp or at least play at long distance. Don't go all of a sudden to the front line trying to bounce shells. It's not going to work. But what I mean by that is trying from time to time to change your position to see if another region of the map is better or can be better in some situations for you to use. This way you're going to become a better player, you're going to discover new positions that nobody is suspicious about, and maybe it will lead you to, I don't know, be one of the top players of the server, who knows. But of course it's kind of utopic to see something like that being implemented in Blitz, because the average player is only here to have fun. They don't care about the statistics. They just want to get into their battle, shoot some tanks, deal damage, and get to the next tank as soon as possible. This is pretty much how the game is oriented right now, simply because Wargaming with the 5.5 update already told us that they wanted brainless players. They only want people that play and spend money. They don't care about the statistics. They don't care about players not knowing what they're doing. And this is why we had the 5.5 update with the removal of all the special mechanisms that made tier 1 to tier 6 a little bit more interesting than its current state. But hey, this is Wargaming choice. They're a company, they want to make money and they want to keep their player base, and I can totally get behind that, even if I think that from an experienced player perspective, it was wrong. Now, of course, there is a second option, and that second option is for you to try out new compos, maybe in platoon, try different tanks you're not used to play. And with your platoon mate, try something, try to play aggressively, try to circle. For example, in this game, you saw that the enemies all decided to go on the side that nobody necessarily used too much, aka the left side, if we take it from my tank perspective. And even if it didn't work in the end, it could have if they played correctly. Of course, it requires some skill, and there is a huge skill gap between my team and their team. But hey, at least they tried something, and it made the game a little bit more interesting, because unlike most of the games I'm playing on this map, which are going to be fought right there near the castle, because 95% of the games are being played here, at least having the possibility from time to time to get to this position, or to have the chance to circle because all your enemies decided to go on this side, is something interesting. And yes, I would like to see that more, a little bit more at least, because you have two sides on the map, so please try to make a good use for them. Of course, without touching to the weird-ass side I already did a video on. And yeah, if you do that, guys, maybe as a community we'll be able to fight boredom in order for us to get more interesting matches. But there is also Wargaming responsibility, because after all, that's their game. And what did they do for us when it came to maps on the 8 or 9 month that passes? Beside the Ghost Factory map that was implemented not so long ago, it seems like Wargaming is not really interested into giving us some new maps on which we could be able to play. I mean, I don't know how long it takes for Wargaming to develop a complete map, and I guess it must be a titanic work. But you're a multi-million company, and maybe you should try to give us more maps, maybe one every 4 months or something like this, or maybe rework the currently existing map. And don't blame Wargaming, they're actually doing that. But is it a one-time thing, or are they going to rework all the maps on the near future pretty much consistently? We don't know, and we will never know, because it's on Wargaming plans, must be on maybe a dev bureau or something like this, and we will probably not even know about it. But if Wargaming is watching that video, which is probably not the case, that would be awesome if you guys try to work a little bit on maps to, instead of making them corridor shaped, which implies that there is one corridor, you go on that corridor to the exact same position every time, and you either win or not depending on the skill of your allies, but also the tank you're playing, etc. But instead of having corridors, maybe try to open the maps to give us more possibilities. I know it's hard and it's easy to ask for something like that, knowing that I don't have a clue how we create a map, but necessarily, regardless of what they're going to give to us, obviously we will end in a corridor map, because players will always sooner or later pick a side that I think is better than the other one. And it's an endless cycle, which will probably, regardless of what you do, lead to boredom. So this is the conclusion of this video. The pattern problem is a problem you can't really fight against. This is something that is part of the game, and there is not a single thing we can do to fight it, beside maybe implementing new game modes that would force the player to go out of those corridors. I'm thinking, as for example, as we saw on the Tank Company video I did, maybe having to destroy huge targets such as the P1000, a bunker, or things like that. But regardless of this, if we don't have anything else implemented in the game, we are cursed to the bone, and we will have to play this game knowing this fact and being powerless about it. So if you enjoy, guys, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and tell me in the comments if you agree with my expose or not. I would be interested into knowing what you guys think about this, because I've been around for a very long time, 4 years, and I think it's a huge problem. Nowadays, when I play World of Tanks Blitz, I already know where I'm gonna go, and it's kind of boring for me. But maybe for you, it's different. I still enjoy the game, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't play it that much. But I would like Wargaming to change one or two things. I'm not gonna waste your time any longer. I'm gonna end the video, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new one. Bye.